What's going on, guys? Nick Foy here, and today I want to talk to you about the different types of passive income that you can build in your lifetime so that you can eventually earn money passively without actually having to work for it. Instead, your money works for you. So that's kind of the simple definition of what passive income is it's income that you're earning passively without having to put in hours of work, trading time for money like you would at a job. So what we're going to do is I'm over here on my blog, under30wealth.com. This is my website dedicated to like personal finance topics. So everything about money, real estate investing, stock investing, all kinds of that sort of topics. And then my other website, asknickfoy.com, is dedicated to like marketing, social media, online business. So if you want to come over here to under30wealth.com, you're more than welcome to shop around the blog. I've got all kinds of different topics you can check out. So this blog article is one that was written back in 2016 on the blog, and it talks about the different types of passive income, and it still applies true today as we move into 2018. So basically the beginning of this article is just talking about how, you may love your job right now and you may see yourself working a job for many, many years, but someday when you get older and you're in your 40s, your 50s, and you're approaching your 60s, you're going to start burning out. So that's where I talked about how you will burn out and you're going to desire retirement someday. Some of you right now may already be, desiring retirement and you're only in your 20s or 30s. So that's a good reason why if you start working on building passive income at a young age, you could potentially retire much younger than the average person does. So scrolling on down here, we've got the different types of passive income. So we're going to kind of run through the different types right now. I'm going to explain a little bit about each one. But if you want to read more in depth, you can come over here on the blog and check out the article. I'll link to it below in the video description for you. So the first type of passive income are certificates of deposit. So back in the older days, CD rates used to be a lot higher. This is basically a tool that you can go to most banks and they'll offer a certificate of deposit. So if you walk into your bank right now today, you'll see on the counter they'll have a little sheet where they're advertising CDs, and it might say, you could tie your money up for 3 years and they're paying 1.25% interest. Back in the day, CDs used to pay a lot more. It used to pay 8 to 14% in some cases. So if you had a lot of money back then, like for example, if a millionaire had $1 million, they could just stick it into a CD and they would earn 8 to 14% on their money per year. So they could be earning potentially $80,000 to $140,000 a year in interest. So once they accumulated that much money and they stuck it in a CD, they were pretty much set. They could do a long-term 10-year CD, a 5-year CD, so that the next 5-10 years they're just kicking back, earning lots of interest on their $1 million, and they don't have to work. It's just, they might live off some savings in the meantime, because I don't know that you can withdraw your interest on a CD right away, but it was at least accruing. So by the time their CD ended, they'd have that money to pull out. But that's where, if we're going to talk about certificates of deposit, I'll save this for another lesson. But there's an investment strategy called the CD ladder, which is kind of where you split up your money. So instead, you'd split this $1 million up and you would put it into different length contracts. That way you'd have money coming due every so many months. That way if you needed it to live off of it, you would get that money and be able to withdraw it, and then the rest of your money would still be in the CD. So there's a certain way to do CDs so that you're not tying up all of your money for 5 or 10 years and not being able to touch it. You're still going to have some short-term CDs that allow you to live off that income if you're trying to do this approach, in retirement. But right now CDs don't pay very high rates of interest, so this probably isn't that great of a passive income source for you right now. Next, we've got bonds, fixed income. So again, you used to be able to just buy bonds, whether it was corporate bonds or you could buy government bonds. So if they're raising money for different projects, they'll issue bonds and a bunch of different people could buy the bonds, and then they would pay out interest rate. So usually it's pretty low. It's like 2 to 4% is the annual coupon rate. It just depends. If you're buying higher risk bonds or high yield bonds, then you might be able to get a higher percentage rate than that. One thing people keep track of a lot in the United States is the 10-year yield curve. So that's the 10-year bond for the U.S. Treasury, and that is what kind of influences mortgage rates. So that's something to consider as well. if you're analyzing the investment market, is watching what bond rates are doing, especially that 10-year yield curve. But bonds, again, these can be risky. You could put money in them and you could lose money. They're not always the most secure investment. People think of bonds as like a secure way of making money, but that's not always the case. So you want to do your research on whatever bond you're thinking of investing in, because they can, you can lose money investing in bonds just like anything else. Next up, we've got real estate investments. This is probably the best passive income source if you're trying to build, wealth pretty quickly. Real estate is something I got into when I was 20 years old. I started buying rental properties because I had learned a lot about passive income from some of the other online influencers out there. So then that started getting me into looking into how do I make passive income, and I came across real estate as one of the methods of doing it, by owning rental properties and then hiring a property manager to manage those rental properties for you, and then you just sit back and collect the rent checks every month, and you kind of communicate back and forth with your property manager, letting them know, different expenses that you want the property to have. If there's different repairs that need done, you have to okay certain repairs, but for the most part it's passive, so you don't have to really worry and be hands-on with your real estate investments unless you want to be. Then you could cut out the property manager, and that'll save you some money, but it also give you more headaches because you'll have all the tenants calling you when they need simple things in the property fixed. You'll have to be the one that handles getting a contractor out there. So real estate, it's one of the best strategies. You can start with little money down. There's certain strategies that allow you to buy real estate without much of your own money, whether you're partnering with somebody else, you're getting the seller to give you the loan, or maybe you're going to a bank and borrowing money like a mortgage. So I got started with like $5,000 when I was 20, and that property, we ended up flipping it for like a $75,000 profit. So I ended up making a pretty good return on my money and was able to use that money to then buy my next property, and it kind of just snowballs from there. So eventually you'll build up to where you've got a portfolio of 20 to 50 units. That usually is good enough to retire most people. Once you get up to 20 to 50 units, somewhere in there, and you're earning $300 to $500 a month cash flow per unit, that works out to be about $8,000 to anywhere up to like $15,000 a month in income that you're bringing in passively from your real estate investments. So it's up to you, how quickly you want to try to scale your real estate investing business. You can try to buy one property a year, and then after 10 years, you'd have 10 properties, all bringing in different cash flow. Or you could start off, flipping houses, trying to build wealth quicker, and then set all that money into like an apartment complex. So there's lots of real estate investing videos that are going to be coming out on this channel, so stay tuned for those. We'll get more into the different real estate strategies. Next, moving on, we've got dividend investing. So here's another completely passive strategy. You just buy stocks that have high dividends, and your money pretty much just sits. You don't really care so much whether the stock price goes up or down, because as long as you don't sell, you're still going to be collecting the dividends every quarter. So they usually pay out every quarter, every 3 months. So you'll get 4 dividends throughout the year, one every 3 months. And at the end of the year, that company, if they do well, they may raise their dividends. So next year they'll start paying bigger dividends, and over time you'll start earning a higher return on your investment if the dividends keep going up. And then if the price of the stock goes up, that's a bonus. So not only are you getting the dividend money to live off of, that's the passive income that's coming into your account that you could withdraw and live off of. You could reinvest your dividends to buy more shares of stock, and if the stock price keeps going up, then you're making money there. So someday if you ever cash out of that stock, you'll be able to get back your original investment plus all the money that the price appreciated, plus you were collecting dividends all those years, using that as income to live off of. Now, dividends can range anywhere from 1%, 0.5% on the low end. Some dividends might go up to like 9 or 10% if the stock's a high dividend stock. So depending on how much you have to invest, you're probably going to need a pretty big amount of money if you're trying to live full time off dividend investing. For example, if you invested $1 million into one stock, and that stock was producing, let's say, a 4% dividend, you'd be earning 4% on your $1 million. So that's $40,000 a year, which may or may not be enough money to live off of. But in order to get that $40,000 a year in dividends, you have to have $1 million cash to buy stock with, and that's pretty hard to do. Not most people are going to have $1 million sitting around to invest until later and when they get closer to retirement. So if you're trying to retire young and you're not going to have that kind of money, so that's why, real estate investing is probably one of the better routes to take when you're young. You could quickly accumulate rentals that pay you that same cash flow that dividends would be paying you, but you don't need as much money to buy rentals as you do in the stock market. You'd only need, let's say you bought $100,000 of your own money into real estate, and then you took out a loan from a bank for, $300,000. You're able to accumulate over $400,000 of real estate, and that might pay you, 10% a year. So you might be making $40,000 a year on that $400,000 investment into the real estate. So you just got to work out the math and see, what works for you. You could also diversify, where you've got some stocks that are paying you dividend income, some rental properties that are bringing you in cash flow every month, and then you might stick some other money in CDs or bonds so that you can collect interest on those. That way you're kind of diversified. Now, the last strategy, tip number 5, is to build your own business, or like starting an online business, building some kind of product that sells passively. So this is another route I took when I got into college. When I was 19, I started selling ebooks. I just wrote the ebook once, put it up on Amazon, and all the traffic that was going to Amazon already, they found my book when they searched different phrases, and it began selling. So I didn't have to do any marketing, any promotion. I just wrote the book, put it on Amazon, and every month now I collect a check, and it's all passive income that I'm not doing any additional work for. It's just money coming into my account. And that's one of the best ways you could get started with an online business. Start off writing ebooks. You just get a Word document or a Google Sheet, sit there, type out your book. It doesn't have to be real long. Put it up on Amazon somewhere between $2.99 and $9.99, under $10. That way it entices people to buy it. And then you just go from there. Amazon's got millions of people that visit its website every day, and there's lots of people every day searching for books to read, and they'll come across your book and probably purchase it, read it, and if it's good, they'll leave a review. And over time, as you accumulate more reviews, you might rank higher in the search engine on Amazon, so that more and more people are going to find your book as it moves up the rankings, and that'll help speed up sales. So there's lots more we could talk about on Amazon ebooks. Another thing you could do is build a website like I've done here with under30wealth.com. So what I do here is I sell different courses. So I've got a course on real estate on under30wealth.com. I've got a golf website where I sell different golf products that are information products, so different courses, different programs, different workouts, trainings, things like that people buy. If you started like a fitness website, you could sell workout programs, exercise programs. So these are just digital download products people buy, download them to their computer, and they can print them off or read them on their computer. It's just a digital product. It's not physical, so you don't have to worry about all the manufacturing costs and shipping and all that. It's just it's real easy when it's just an information type product where you're filming videos or writing books or building training programs, something like that somebody can just quickly buy, download it to their computer, and they can start learning from you. So that's another way you could go. And you could start earning $500 to $1,000 a month online pretty quickly, going that route, and it can scale to 6-7 figures. There are plenty of people on the internet making over 7 figures a year, selling different programs, workouts, whatever niche they're in. You could even get into like some pretty exotic niches. I mean, there's pets, health and fitness, recipes. There's the sports industry. I mean, technology. There's all kinds of different niches you can get into. I've got another video on my channel that talks about the 34 niches that you could start an online business in. If you want to check that out, just go into my previous videos, scroll down a ways, and you should find that video. It should say 34 blog niches to get started with. But to get started, what you would do is, if you're going to build an online business, you pretty much just need a social media account of some sort that you're going to promote your product on. So if you've got a Facebook page, a Twitter account, an Instagram page, a YouTube channel, these are different tools you can use to promote your products on, so that you can attract a following on the social media platform, and then they'll learn about your product you'll send them to the product by linking to it, and then they'll check out and purchase it. So if you want to have a website, that could be another tool for getting traffic to your product. If people searching Google could come across your website, and then that could lead them to your product. Or you could do paid advertising, running Google ads, Facebook ads. So there's other ways that you can speed up and start earning money quickly as well if you've got social media, a website, and then some kind of store that you sell products on. So you just buy hosting, $3.95 a month with Bluehost. And I've got some different tutorial series I've linked here. You can also find lots of videos on my YouTube channel. If you go under my playlist, you'll see how to buy hosting, how to set up a website, how to use WordPress, how to get your store set up. I've got all those trainings already created here on YouTube. So that pretty much wraps it up for today, trying to keep this short. We went over the 5 different ways you could build passive income. And if you start now, you spend 3 to 5 years grinding, working hard on it, and maybe in 5 years from now, you've been able to accumulate it to where you're making 5, 6, 7 figures a year off these passive income projects that you put all your time and energy into now, and then you sit back and collect the income from it for the rest of your life, and you're able to retire early. So here's the blog article again if you want to check it out. It's got the 5 different methods. You can go through and read them more in depth. So CDs, which are bank accounts, basically it's just money you can't touch in a bank account for a few years. And they've got really low interest rates right now. Then we've got bonds, we've got real estate, rental properties, we've got stock dividends, and then last but not least, building your own business online, selling ebooks, selling courses, or whatever else you could think of to sell online. There's affiliate marketing. You could also, run like a membership website. You could sell photography online that you take out in the real world. So there's lots of different ways you could go online in order to build a business that pays you. The internet's turned on 24/7. There's always people searching the internet that could come across your business, your brand, and pay you money. So online business, this is probably one of the best ways to get started for a low budget. But if you've got some money saved up, then I would check out real estate investing. Again, check my YouTube channel for playlists. I've got a playlist all about real estate investing, and there's more videos coming out each week talking about real estate investing. So stay tuned for those. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I want to see you stick around so that you can get lots of value that I've got coming for you in my videos. And if you enjoy these videos, I appreciate positive comments, thumbs up. That helps tell YouTube this video was good, and it'll help me rank higher in YouTube so that I can attract more people and hopefully grow my channel. I've set a goal this year to go from 500 subscribers to 10,000 by the end of 2018. So if you can help me get there, I would greatly appreciate it. Love you guys. Take care.